All right, welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we are going to work on some neck, shoulder, chest opening. We're going to do stretches and we're also going to do some stuff with the therapy balls. So you want to grab your therapy balls, grab a block if you've got it. If you don't have a block, you can be like me. I just grabbed a child's puzzle and I'm going to use that because that's what I got. So the world's kind of fucking crazy. So I think everybody's got neck and shoulder tension and we're going to work on that. You can keep these in the little tote bag if you want, but I find when I work on my occiput, it's uncomfortable. So I'll put them back in there for the work we do in the neck and or the shoulders. But I would suggest for this portion, taking them out. I'm gonna turn around so you can see what the hell I'm talking about. You're gonna take the balls, they're gonna go right at your occiput, which is if you feel your skull and then you don't feel skull anymore, and you go back up to that first place of skull, that's your occiput. The balls are gonna be together and we're resting right at the occiput. And then you're gonna put them on the edge of your block. And it takes a second to find the sweet spot, but once you find it, you'll kind of always find it. So if they keep sliding out, just be patient with them. And once you get in that sweet spot, you're just going to relax. And it should be exceptionally relaxing because we're releasing all around the sinuses. So it's like I feel my eyes and my sinuses really soften. There's just a desire to take a deeper breath. So I invite you to breathe slow and deep here. If it feels good to do audible exhales, that's always encouraged. And you might notice that your chest starts to soften here. I know that as I'm doing this, I kind of have to keep moving my arms outwards a little bit more because there's just becomes more space as all that tissue in the neck, shoulders, and chest softens. There's just more space for my arms to open up and it becomes more and more comfortable to completely relax. So you can stay right here if this is your jam. If you do want to go a bit deeper, you can start to bring movement into this. And it's a very subtle movement. So just imagine that you've got like a watch face right in front of you. So it's small. And you're just going to move your nose. So think of your nose right as this in the center where the hands come together. And you're just going to move your nose over to the 3 and back center, and then over to the 9 and back center. So it's like maybe a centimeter or a 1/2 inch either direction. really small movements. And this will most likely feel pretty freaking good. Notice if you start to hold tension in your head though. So if it feels almost like you're trying to hold your head in place or almost hold your head up, you really want to keep surrendering to gravity here and allowing your head to melt into those therapy balls. And as you're doing this, the balls will very slowly move outwards, which is great because it just works all the way along the occiput. And they'll eventually get to a point where you hit kind of the outer corner, and then the balls will slide away. So right before you hit that kind of corner where the end of the occiput meets kind of behind the ear, you'll want to stop and move the balls back center. And in reality, it's like they've moved really a half inch. They barely move at all, but it feels much more dramatic than it is. So whenever you feel like you kind of got to get your head on straight, this is kind of where I go, because it does actually feel like that. Like it brings such a sense of calm to the nervous system. It opens up. I don't even know how, because I'm just working with the base of the skull, but it opens up more space in the chest to breathe. It feels like it kicks the elephant off my chest. So I always really think about it as like the get my head on straight exercise. If you are moving the head side to side, you want to come back center. And again, thinking of your nose as touching the very center of the watch face, and you're just going to move your nose down to the 6, and then center, and up to the 12, and center. And just going back and forth, just like we did going from the 3 to the 9. And I will say that I often will kind of push my nose past the 6 because it just feels so good moving down my neck. So feel free to kind of really work that range of motion, chin towards the chest. And then come back and just rest right in that neutral position. and then you'll reach back, grab hold of the balls, pick the head up, slide your block out, and just bring the head down onto the floor. So oftentimes when we've got neck, shoulder tension, we've also got head and face tension. So you can use the balls on your face, kind of like a push and twist. So right in all of that muscle of the jaw, we have so much muscle in our face. Oh my God. So I just push in and gently twist. And that should feel either horrible or horribly amazing. You want to relax your jaw and just allow the jaw to move if it needs to as you push. And I work kind of not on the temples, but if you kind of feel your temples and then feel just below that, there's almost what feels like high cheekbones. It's like the outer edge of the cheekbones. And I start just below that. And I work my way along the jawline. Oh God. Some of it is like super painful, but in a good way. And some of it just feels amazing. And I'm just doing both sides. I'll sit up so you can see it. Ooh. But you might as well do it laying down because you're already there. It's comfy. Then I just work my way down the jawline. Right into like the chin. That feels so good. And then I work back up the jawline. And then you can kind of lift the chin up and get that space right between the ear and the bottom of that jawbone there. That feels divine typically. And then I'm going to continue right down the side of the neck on each side through the scalenes. I'm going to do that laying down because it's like, what's the point when I'm sitting up and my scalenes are working? I might as well lay down and let them relax. So you can work both sides at the same time. It's the same thing. Push in and rotate. And you take that all the way down to your collarbones. And you can work along your collarbones and back up. And then you can work up under your cheekbones towards your nose. And back out. And then I do love to take them right on like the bridge of the nose. So essentially over my eyes, but I'm not pushing into my eyes. I'm pushing kind of into the tissue, and it's very light. I'm not really pushing, I'm just holding them there and then really gently rotating. And then you move up onto your forehead. And again, just push and rotate. You want to make sure you get the center of the forehead because that is a pressure point. So typically you'll just use one there. That is very calming for the nervous system. And then just relax for a second. Right. Roll over onto one side. If you've got a baggie for your therapy balls, you can toss them back in there. We're going to come back to them in a minute, but I want to do another nervous system calmer that is also great for just kind of opening up the chest and hips and neck. So you'll essentially have your arms like a cactus. You have your left ear on the floor, and then pull that right knee up and out to the side. I used to have this as part of my morning routine because it's such a nice neck and hip opener. And I had to stop doing it because it calmed me down so much I'd always fall back asleep during this pose. So if you're having a hard time sleeping, this is a great place to come. And extending the right leg back. Turn the head so that the right ear is on the floor and pull that left knee up and out to the side. And releasing the left leg down. Oh, press yourself up and back into child's pose. You can either take a traditional child's pose with knees together, or if you want to go a little deeper, take a wide knee child's pose. Stretching the arms out, dropping the forehead and chest down. And if you don't get, or if you get this stretch really easily here, and your forehead and chest comes easily to the floor, then you want to bend your elbows, palms together, and drop the head down. And or prop your elbows or arms up on blocks so that you bring the arms up and give more space for the face and chest to drop through. Shifting your weight forward, bringing your hips on top of your knees, and then walk the hands out into anahata. So hands on the floor, chest and forehead dropping towards the floor. Again, if that's super easy for you, you want to bring the floor up higher. So put blocks under the hands, or you could also drop onto the elbows with the hands towards the sky. And then gently walk yourself up onto all fours. Let's do a couple rounds of cat and cow. Rounding the spine, looking toward your belly button, really tucking the tail, pushing the floor away from you. And then arching, reaching the belly for the floor. The sitting bones lift towards the ceiling. The heart reaches forward. The crown of the head reaching up towards the sky. And then back. Just a couple rounds of this. Really trying to push into each end of the movement. Let's get back to rolling out. So we're going to work in 3 different places. If you reach around and you feel your shoulder blades, there's the top points of the shoulder blades. And then if you reach the other way, you can feel bottom points of the shoulder blades. And then we're going to do right in the middle. So top points, middle, bottom points. And you take the balls, you place them so that they're one on either side, right at the top points of the shoulder blades, and you lie back. Head drops down. Just take a second here with the weight of your own body pushing down. You're gonna reach the arms up and give yourself a hug and very slowly and gently rock side to side. And then switch the arms. So whatever arm was on top goes on bottom, and then rock side to side. And reaching the arms straight up towards the ceiling. You're going to scissor the arms. So one arm is going to reach up towards the ceiling while the other one sucks down into the therapy ball. And then you switch. So the other one reaches up and the other shoulder suctions down. So pushing and pulling the shoulder blades. And then bring them even and just drop the arms straight back. Try to touch the thumbs to the floor or take it as far as it'll go. And just rest at that end point for a moment. Take a couple deep breaths. Enjoy the crunching. Bringing the arms back up. You're going to take the hands behind the head, pick your head up, and then push into your feet and just lift your hips up. Roll a few inches down so you find the spot right in between the shoulder blades that's right in the middle of the shoulder blades. Set your butt down, set your head down. Relax your arms for a moment. Breathe. Try to relax as much of your weight into the balls as possible. Wrapping your arms around yourself, give yourself a hug. Rock side to side. switch your hug. One arm switches. Reaching the arms up. And then we reach with one arm and suction the other one down, and then switch. Goes back and forth. Dropping the arms straight back, thumbs pointed down. And hands behind the head. Pick up the hips. Roll yourself down to the bottom shoulder points. Set everything down. Relax as much as you can. Wrap your arms around yourself and rock side to side. Switch your arms. Reach your arms straight up and scissor the shoulder blades. then take the arms back. And then grab hold of opposite elbows and drop the arms back here. It's going to widen the rib cage and deepen the pressure into the therapy balls. Gives you a nice stretch through the diaphragm as well. Great opportunity to take a couple giant breaths. And then just switch the hold of the elbows the other way. And you release the arms and then just roll off the balls to one side. And we'll prop ourselves up on one side to open up the side body. So on one elbow is the more gentle version. Up on your arm is the more intense version. The closer you bring your hand to your hip, the more intense it gets. And you want to make sure that you're all lined up in one line and you're not tipping forwards or backwards. So you might need to use the other hand to support yourself. If you're like me and your femur bones plug into the side of your hips, it might be uncomfortable and you might need to double up your mat. Really sink your rib cage down towards your hand. And I like to allow my shoulder to pop up towards my ear. That tends to feel really good in my body, but you can do whatever works for you. And release, and then switch sides. So again, if you're looking for a little less intense, you can go on the forearm, a bit more intense, coming all the way up onto the hand. And the closer the hand is to the hip, the more intense it is. Sinking the ribs down towards your hand. And if you'd like, letting that shoulder pop up. And we will finish off with some nice juicy twists. So come down to your back. You're going to lift your hips up, swing them over to the right and drop them down. Left leg extends, and then right leg crosses over the body into a twist. Arms out to the side, palms turned up. Nice big breaths here. Deep breath in, exhale back center, feet on the floor, pick your booty up, swing it all the way over to the left, extend the right leg, left leg crosses over, arms out, palms up, deep breaths. Deep breath in. Exhale back center. Feet plant, lift the booty up. Hug the knees into the chest. Stretch out that low back. So you pull the knees in nice and tight so that the butt peels up off the ground. And then you hold those knees and lengthen the tailbone down towards the mat. And then lengthen the legs down. Let the arms fall out for Shavasana. Take a couple long sighing exhales as you nestle down into our final pose. Deepening your breath. Imagine your inhale flooding through every cell of your body. And your exhale softening every cell of your body. Bending your knees, feet on the floor. Rolling on over to your right side. Pressing up. Come on up to seated. Sitting up tall. Take a few more deep breaths. Just imagine any tension or stress that's still hiding out in the body, draining out of you into the floor with each and every exhale. Bring your hands down at your heart center. And actually, let's place the hands over the heart. And let's take a second to just honor the messiness and the joyousness that is the human heart. Taking a second to just be okay with where we are, even when where we are is uncomfortable or scary or just real inconvenient. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me today. Namaste.